If you've passed FE Electrical and Computer exam, congratulations. It is a major career milestone that can help you get the EIT certification and move on to the next step, which is the PE Power exam. But the FE Electrical and Computer and the PE Power exams are very different. If you bring the same study habits to the PE exam, you're most likely going to fail. For the FE Electrical and Computer exam preparation, as long as you have fundamental understanding, and that's in the name of the exam, FE exam stands for Fundamental of Engineering exam, you will be able to get by because the reference handbook is very helpful. You can expect a whole bunch of plug and chug type of problems. And if you're able to just have a very basic understanding of the concepts, it's typically more than enough. But the same approach cannot work for the PE Power exam. In this video, I'm going to break down the top 6 mistakes that students make when they're preparing for the PE Power exam. Mistake number 1, staying in the FE exam mode. Unlike the FE exam, the PE requires a deeper understanding and application of concepts. You have to shift your study approach in order to focus on more in-depth analysis and less on breadth. The analogy that I like to give my students is that both FE exam and PE exam are racket sports, but one is pickleball and the other one is tennis. Therefore, you have to adapt accordingly. Mistake number 2, taking a strictly problem-based numerical approach. Now, this actually is linked to mistake number 1, because when it comes to the FE exam, chances are that a good understanding of the reference handbook and lots of practice problems can potentially help you pass the FE exam. But when it comes to the PE exam, if you take a strict problem-based learning approach without grasping the underlying concepts, your chances of passing the PE exam are going to be very low, because the PE exam also tests you on a lot of conceptual angles. It is crucial to understand the why behind the problems and not just the how to solve them. Mistake number 3 is overstressing about time management. Let me explain this. In the FE exam, you have 5 hours and 20 minutes to solve 110 questions, which roughly translates into 3 minutes per question. Compare this to PE exam, where instead of 5 hours and 20 minutes, you actually have 8 hours to take this exam. On top of that, you're not expected to solve 110 questions, you're expected to solve only 80 questions in 8 hours versus 110 questions in 5 hours and 20 minutes, which means that you have approximately 6 minutes per question in the PE exam. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should not keep track of time or try not to become efficient in your problem solving, but obsessing only on the speed of solving problems is going to distract you from learning concepts during your exam preparation. I help students prepare for FE Electrical and Computer exam and the PE Power exam. In the FE Electrical and Computer exam, we cover entire undergraduate engineering coursework based on the latest NCES exam specification. Now, it's a balancing act even in the exam preparation mode, because there's a lot to cover, which means that we have to basically focus on the fundamentals. I explain the fundamental concepts using first principles and give my students opportunity to practice with tons of high quality practice problems. But even then, when we shift from FE Electrical to PE Power, my students recognize a significant jump in terms of the depth of explanations. That is because the PE exam requires you to understand the concepts inside out. And we try not to rush through the content at all, because on the exam day, you won't be pushed for time. Most of my PE students end up completing the exam with 1 to 2 hours to spare. So don't make this mistake of unnecessarily stressing about speed and time when you're preparing for your PE exam. Mistake number 4, relying too much on the NCES PE Reference Handbook. I personally not analyzed all the different NCES PE handbooks, but I'm quite familiar with the PE Power Reference Handbook. Unlike the FE Reference Handbook, which is very detailed, contains tons of equations, formulas, descriptions, the PE Power Reference Handbook tends to skip several concepts, equations, topics, and therefore if a student is assuming that they'll be able to figure things out during the exam using the reference handbook and won't really have to prepare during the exam preparation mode, the chances of the handbook coming to your rescue in the PE Power exam are much lower as compared to the reference handbook coming to your rescue in the FE exam. This means that even for the concepts that are outlined in the reference handbook, you should make an effort to go deeper in terms of your understanding and grasp of the underlying concepts. Otherwise, you will most likely struggle on the exam. The 5th mistake that students make when it comes to the PE exam preparation is that they typically under-prepare for codes and standards. In the context of PE Power exam, the codes that we have to prepare for are NEC, NESC, NFPA 70E, NFPA 497, 499, and 30B. If you're a recent graduate and don't have experience working with codes, or even if you're an experienced professional and don't work in the MEP consulting environment, the odds of you using these codes on a regular basis are actually quite slim, which means that you should actually be putting in extra time and effort in order to prepare for these codes. But the issue is that NEC, for instance, is an 800-page code. NESC is also roughly an 800-page code. NFPA 70 is roughly about 100 to 200 pages, and the remaining NFPA standards are slightly smaller. Collectively, we are talking about close to 2,000 pages of codes and standards for the PE Power exam. If you do not approach codes and standards properly and prepare for them effectively, you're putting roughly 20% of the entire exam by weightage at risk. Which brings us to our mistake number 6, using ineffective exam preparation resources. The vast majority of students who are enrolled in my PE Power program are working professionals. They have demanding jobs, and on top of that, we all have our personal commitments, which means that every single hour that you take out of your schedule in order to prepare for this exam comes at a premium. And you must ensure that the investment of time that you're making is helping you make progress in the right direction. I help tons of students prepare for FE Electrical and PE Power exam each year. Whether your weakness lies in codes and standards or the more abstract topics within the exam specification, such as per unit systems, symmetrical components, fault analysis, transmission line models, power flow, power system stability, or protection and control, I will walk you through every single concept. You'll find tons of derivations within my program, high quality practice problems with detailed solutions, computer simulated practice exams, mini exams testing your understanding at the end of every subsection and section, an exclusive community for students which is moderated by myself and my teaching assistants, where you can get prompt responses to your questions and continuous support from me all along the way. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. On a weekly basis, I am creating content for FE Electrical and PE Power exam preparation. I also discuss topics related to electrical engineering with a focus on power systems engineering. If you'd like to learn more about my FE Electrical and PE Power exam preparation programs, please visit my website, studyforfe.com.